provision in reality, and we do need to adjust to this world where there are greater diagnosis rates than there were before. But I think there are some actions that the government could take right away, in particular in relation to, Madam Deputy Speaker, the private placements that are ongoing. These have trebled in the last decade. They cost more than double the cost of a state placement, around about £60,000. And what we do know is that private equity have been really aggressive in this space, taking on institutions, eating up market share, and are reportedly making profit margins around about 20%. Now, in the Children Wellbeing and Schools Bill, the government did introduce the idea of profit caps on those that are being exploitative in the children's social care sector. So I wonder if the leader can ask the relevant minister if this could be extended to the SEND schools as well.
Speaker, he's right to raise concern about the SEND system because the government has acknowledged that it is broken. It doesn't work for parents and it doesn't work for children either. He's also right to say that there were signs that things were not as they should be, but it's one of the many issues that when we came to government we discovered was even worse than we'd anticipated beforehand. I'm not going to comment on what might or might not be in the budget, but I would gently point out that we've already invested an additional £1 billion into SEND. And we're also creating more specialist places in mainstream schools with an additional £740 million on top of the £1 billion. We will be bringing forward the schools white paper. He may wish to keep some of his suggestions to that, or maybe call a debate on it to give further clarity to what he's saying. We're bringing that forward early in the next year. I know it is frustrating. It's frustrating for our constituents as well. But the important thing is we need to work with parents and we need to work with teachers. And it's the most important thing is that we get it right.
Rosie Writing.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. On that note, since being elected, the number of constituents who've raised difficulties and delays in the SEND system with me has been staggering. So I asked my constituents to fill in my SEND survey online so they can feed into the government's schools white paper. That survey now has 250 responses, which I think shows the extent of the problem. So will the Leader of the House join me in thanking those parents in Kettering, but across the country, who are using their own experiences to feed in to this government's mission to fix a broken system we inherited?
Very pleased to do that, Madam Deputy Speaker, and I would like to thank everyone who has responded to my honourable friend's survey. That is the way, one of the very best ways of getting information from parents, and the scale of that demonstrates the scale of the problems in the system. But I also want to pay tribute to her for the work that she has done on this issue. As I said previously, we are committed to creating a SEND system which truly works for children and for parents. As the white paper comes forward, I'm sure my honourable friends' constituents' comments will be reflected in that process.
Chair of the Backbench Business Committee, Bob Blackman.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, and I thank the Leader for announcing the business for the 4th of December in the Chamber. I understand that there is a potential that the House may suspend for a period of time because of a state visit. So I would ask, could he give consideration for protected time, because these are two very heavily subscribed debates. Also, if you can give us an indication as to whether we'll get the 11th of December in the Chamber, because we're now in the position whereby, with our backlog of debates, if we have every Thursday between now and the Easter recess, we can fill every single debate. I note that the House rose very early yesterday, and if the government is having a problem with business, we can always put on debates to allow colleagues from the backbenches to debate what they wish to debate in government time. If we're given Thursday the 18th of December, it will be the traditional pre-recess adjournment debate for Christmas. The business in Westminster Hall next week, on Tuesday the 25th, will be a debate on potential impact of immigration reforms on humanitarian visa routes. And on Thursday the 27th, there'll be because of the budget debate in the Chamber, there'll be a Select Committee statement from the Business and Trade Committee, followed by debates on the impact of extended producer responsibility for packaging, followed by a debate on protecting children from domestic abuse. On the 2nd of December, there'll be a debate on the adequacy of funding to support homeless people, and on the 4th of December, a debate on comprehensive acquired brain injury action plan, followed by a debate on seafarers' welfare. Now, Madam Deputy Speaker, today is the 80th anniversary of the start of the Nuremberg trials. And earlier this week we had a very good briefing at the All-Party Parliamentary Group for the Holocaust Memorial and Education Centre from Adam Wagner. He's a renowned human rights lawyer. 24 Nazis were put on trial, and the trial lasted for 11 months. At the end of that, 22 of them were sentenced to either very long-term prison sentences or death. 2, amazingly enough, were acquitted. So it would be, I think, very helpful if we could have a statement from the Education Secretary on incorporating the business of the Nuremberg trials into the national curriculum, because this was the first time when human rights law started to come to the fore, particularly on war crimes and crimes against humanity. So I would ask the Leader, could he arrange for that to happen?
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I certainly welcome the honourable gentleman back to his place and thank him for raising these important matters. On the later matters that he raises, the Nuremberg trials do mark a reassertion of justice, human rights and accountability, and the 80th anniversary is a stark reminder of the need to commit to international criminal justice, and it is one of the government's top priorities in supporting the international legal order. I'll give consideration to what he says about a statement, but also make sure that the Secretary of State for Education is aware of the honourable gentleman's comments. On the question of protected time, I would certainly give consideration to that. He knows that I'm sympathetic to that. I don't think it's appropriate in every occasion, but I do think it's sympathetic should the House be adjourned for any, suspended for any particular reason. And I'll let him know about the 11th of December at the earliest opportunity. But just let me gently say to him, yes, of course, this week has been a little bit up and down in terms of the hours and the debates and the statements that we had. It's always a slight difficulty in getting balance into that, but it's not a problem for the government and its business. It's a problem for the opposition. If they can't turn up in numbers to hold the government to account, what are they doing?
Chris Hinchliffe.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Nearly 2/3 of the land in our country is owned by a handful of aristocrats, oligarchs and bankers who often hide their wealth in trusts and corporations which never die. So can we have a debate on how we may raise more revenue from these ultra-rich landowners and so afford some more generous proposals on agricultural property relief for the farmers who are essential for our food security, nature restoration and climate action?
I'm grateful for my honourable friend in raising this issue and join with him in acknowledging the vital work that farmers do, which is one of the reasons why we're investing £5 billion over 2 years into the farming budget. I'm not going to preempt the budget, and therefore I would say, having just announced 4 days of budget debate, I'm sure that my honourable friend will wish to raise these points and amplify these points during that time.
Clive Jones.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker. Brain tumour research state that 1 in 3 people are likely to know someone with a brain tumour. That could be our friends, family or constituents. Brain tumours are a cruel disease, and yet drug development and research has stagnated, denying patients access to life-saving treatment. Will the Leader of the House allow a debate in government time on the immediate investment needed to improve brain tumour research and improve outcomes?
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I'd invite the honourable gentleman to request a debate, either an adjournment debate or a backbench business debate, because I think what that will illustrate is not just from a constituency point of view, but how many of us have been affected personally or family or friends with the terrible consequences that can arise from brain tumours. The government is absolutely committed to doing as much as they can in this regard, not least through the 10-year health plan. So I think the debate would be a great opportunity, not just to hear about the problem, but to hear about what the government is intending to do about it.
Kirstine Sullivan.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Churches are the bedrock of our communities and play a particularly strong role at the heart of our villages. St Philomena's Church in Winchborough has been a centre of spiritual, community and cultural life for 100 years and celebrated this milestone with a special Mass